Hey guys, Tarp here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Lost Glider. Playing for today's pointing in the south, we have Wuff. This is Wuff. Playing as OKW, straight away locking into Grand Offensive and getting himself out some Panzer Fusiliers. Himself against him in the north, we have Scoped, playing as Soviets, who has airborne troops. Soviet Combined Arms. And NKVD. In terms of ranks, Scoped around rank 55 Soviets and Wuff around rank 140 as OKW. Oftentimes I wouldn't kind of cast a match that lopsided, but Wuff's also top 50 with some other factions. So I'm sure it's just him being a bit rusty on the OKW. Okay, looks like he was making a dash towards the building. Gets caught out by the conscripts on the road. Doesn't take too much damage from it though. Jumps into this building first. Good tactic, because quite often, you know, after a squad caps here, they'll run into this building, probably harass you while you're capping your munitions point. So it's a safe option to jump in there, and it looks like he's going to go on the offensive on the back of that. Fusiliers here guarding the cutoff, but conscripts will going to make a dash for the fuel. Stern Pioneers haven't got into the action so far this game. Wuff playing very passively with his Stern Pies, which I think is maybe a small mistake. Especially when you're going with this many Fusiliers early, they do struggle quite a lot with conscripts. Now, Scope setting up some nice engagements here. Stern Pie is going to be caught between these two squads. No, he's probably back. No, he's going back in. I was going to say, yeah. Closes in on this squad. The squad should probably chase up to this point. Oh, Uraing out to safety. We do have Fusiliers coming in from the cutoff position, doing a lot of damage here. Wuff needs to reposition behind the cover. And he's decided to charge in with the Fusiliers over here, which didn't seem to go too well for him. Now soft retreating to the heavy cover. And the wire off on this sandbag here doesn't seem to work too well. I'm curious why he didn't go for a sideways piece of wire there, honestly. Against like normal single space sandbags, sometimes this piece of wire is like a decent idea. Because squad's going to have trouble fitting all behind like on one half of a sandbag. But against these like world object sandbags, you can generally just wire them off with a piece of wire widthways, whereas with sandbags that are built, there'll still be like more than enough cover positions behind them. So it looks like Wuff maybe conceding his fuel point here, making a break over to Scope's fuel. But yeah, this is the kind of start you can get as OKW if you go for 4 Fusiliers. They are a little bit more expensive than Volksgrenadiers, 10 manpower more, and not that strong in the early game before they get their upgrades. Also no sandbags available, so all those factors combining make Fusiliers tricky in the early game. I feel like conscripts actually do match up really well with them, because they can always ura to close the distance. And just disengage if it's a long-range engagement. Well, he fends off that fuel point harass, but another squad coming around the corner. Wuff opting to put down the battle group. I generally do think even if you're going battle group, it is good to put down one set of med kits. You can see a lot of Wuff's troops very, very, very hurt. So he's going to bleed a lot of manpower for this. And because he's gone for a flak half track now, you know, that delays the next even further. So If your Sturmpires do retreat at a timing where, you know, you can afford to put down a stack of med crates, I think it's worth the attempt. Don't have to retreat to do it or whatever, but with the attempt. Anyway, I think flak half track, tough one. I feel like it's tricky on this map, especially in the early game. There are a lot of places where conscripts can run around the corner, throw our first snare. There are also some pretty strong buildings, which the flak half track is not terribly good against. And yeah, lacks some mobility of the looks. We're making another breakout towards the right hand side. And should have the flak half track to shut down this cutoff play. Interesting my position there. We got one squad of Fusiliers coming out to the side now. But he manages to get the cap. There we go, Fusiliers hitting the mine. Bit of a mine down there by Wuff, which is a pretty good spot. You know, T-70 is quite likely to come through that alleyway, so nice position for that. But yeah, these low health Fusiliers just getting bullied all across the map, bleeding a lot. Half track coming across, sets up, get some suppression on. These conscripts oorang right around the corner. Only one model drop though, conscript's still alive. He does have healing back here as well as tier 2. And he has selected a commander going for Soviet combined arms. And now fielding himself a squad of guards to help counter a half track here. Just do a decent job of soft countering the flak half track. No AT grenade package yet for the conscripts. But guards coming in from the side and flak half track in a reposition. Oh boy, he's kind of backing himself into a corner here. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't even know you could drive through that gap with a vehicle that size. Alright. Doesn't look like it would fit. You know, look at how big that thing is compared to that gap, but managed to squeeze on through there. Now he's bringing it across. Looks like he's going to send it out to force the squad off his fuel point first and worry about repairs later. Sounds like we've got some upgrades now on the guards. But the Fusiliers with the G43 should perform pretty well against them. Grenade in, but good dodge from Wuff. Mine down for scope back there, and T-70 in the build. Grenade back the other way. And scoped hits an early retreat. Avoids any damage from that grenade. And once the T-70 arrives, it's going to have to be a lot more cautious with his flak half track positioning. Oh, G43's pop, and that allows these Fusiliers to win. That's the conscripts. Does have the Raketen on the field, so yeah, he's going to have to be careful with his flak half track positioning. Make sure the Raketen's nearby. There's units with snares available. He has enough munitions for the snares, and of course some mines will also help. And this is why, another reason why the flak half track is, or half tracks in general, are just like less popular. The 1v1 meta just requires so much more consideration on how you use them to be effective. Maybe he could have taken cover a little bit better behind the sandbags. T-70 coming through these gaps. These guys trying to avoid them. Raketen coming across now. Aiming at that gap. In come the conscripts. Oh, Fusiliers going to jump into the building right in front of them. And with the G43s, they should do decent damage. In fact, we've got a lot of Fusiliers here. Basically, the whole Axis army right now. Concentrated in one area. You do have one squad. In fact, that's the guard squad on the far side. Generally, you don't want to be capping with your guards like that. Much more valuable trying to get them in combat and leave the capping to the conscripts. Sometimes I suppose it can be reasonable if you're like close to a building, can jump in, fend off a light vehicle by themselves. But yeah, having the option of bringing the guards in from an angle, maybe T-70 from a different angle, brings up a lot of options to help tame the flak half track. Double tripwires going off there. Quite a few tripwires so far from scoped. In comes flak half track, gets some good long range damage in, conscripts forced away. And T-70 doesn't want to go in for the dive. It is escorted by the Raketen, so he's playing cautious. Guards now on the fuel point though. Scoped, you know, still got a good amount of territory under control. We'll kind of concentrate all his units into one area of the map. Just leave them vulnerable to capping harassers on the far side. And Raketen changing sides. T-70 coming across to the Fusiliers, it looks like. Closing in, doesn't quite get in range for an AT grenade there. But there is a mine right there, could pay off. And he does get the snare off now. No, he cancelled. No, he got the snare off. Okay, AT grenade connecting with a flak half track as well. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to finish off the T-70 there, unfortunately. Wasn't quite in position for it. Flak half track can do decent damage to the T-70, especially against its rear armor. Just can be hard to do that with the T-70 being so mobile, but if you do get the snare on it, you know, you can consider trying to set up the flak half track and getting a few flak bursts in. Guards in firing positions here. Looks like Wuff going to bring across the flak half track, and he did manage to hold on to this fuel point for quite some time. There's about 50 VPs behind though. But yeah, where the flak half track could maybe shine is later in the game, once you know a lot of these walls have been crushed. It can be a real nuisance to deal with, kind of like a hypermobile machine gun. We've got the sweepers out. Might not have the moment to sweep the tripwires here though. Just put away the sweepers in fact. And kind of unusual to see guards in like a one window building like that. Not going to be terribly effective. Ooh. Oh, he gets the kill. Okay, track sets up. Might even be able to get a couple more model drops here. Yep, it does. The flak half track pulling back very close to Viet 1 now. Yes. Whoa! Oh. Didn't see the T-70 on the map, but he backed it all the way back to his base for the repairs. That's why I thought he'd be repairing a little bit further out. Guard's very, very low. Might as well retreat them at that health, otherwise you're just going to drop models. At least you can, like, win the engagement. No point in bleeding that much manpower and not gaining any territory for it. And the tripwire going off there. T-70 back up to full, but he did slow it down a long way thanks to that mine. Oh, a bit slow on the cancel on the Stern Pioneer mine. Took 2 models. Might have even had the mine killed instead of cancelled. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. So lost their munitions there. Wuff a little bit slow. He's quite slow, or fast rather, backing away the flak half track, but slow cancelling the mine. Raketin getting pushed and pulled from side to side. This is maybe an idea as well. He could use the Raketin to kill the sandbags if the Raketin is positioned in the centre at some stage. To allow that cover to his opponent. To see when he's switching from side to side here. Could get a couple more Fusilier models on their retreat. Raketin coming across. T-70 already on the move. And yeah, Scope doing a pretty good job of switching from side to side, constantly forcing Wuff's Raketin to rotate from side to side and almost never taking damage from it because of that. Nade in there from Wuff. I'm not sure why. Half track doing a little bit of work on the building, but it's not terribly strong against units inside buildings. Which is why the guards are a pretty good pick. Oh, got Raketin in position this time. T-70 takes one shot. Trying to get around the corner here. Takes a second, so that's another long repair time. But in comes a very, very fast T-34 for Scoped. Oh, and he gets a really nice hit on the Fusiliers there. Yeah, that's really fast. Oh, hits a mine. Really fast T-34 following up on that T-70. Empire's out there scouting for the Raketin, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a third and final shot on here. Oh. So the T-34 will survive. And Fusiliers, I think Wuff here forgot about them. Kind of need to be in or out. Don't want to be fighting long range against the guards. And they've got the LMG upgrade, and now Scope with a triple cap, a lot of territory control. I've conceded. He put his flak base in a pretty reasonable position to cover the cutoff here, but still safe from off maps, which there is one in this commander. They are 2 bombing, so probably a nice position for it in this match.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Okay, Raketin coming out now. Fusilier is probably spotting the T-34 here. He's closing in, trying to interrupt the repairs, but a huge hit from the T-34. Main gun just getting so much work done this time. A little unlucky there for Wuff. Just managed to stem the VP bleed a little bit, capping on the far side. And here's Scope taking a long time to do all those repairs. It's allowed Wuff to fight back quite effectively, and he's just about there for the Panzer IV if he's going to go for it. Or will we see the Tiger after all these nerfs? It will be quite hard, I think, for Wuff to try and save the extra 100 fuel once these 2 tanks are back up and running, so the Panzer IV is the safer option. Wuff actually going for an MG here though, instead of a second Raketin. Which maybe suggests indeed the Panzer IV. He's gone for the Tiger Storm. Maybe he would have picked up a second Raketin to boost his anti-tank to tide him over until the Tiger arrived, but not on this occasion. There we go, MG locking down the fuel. Conscripts, another tripwire going down. Scope's pretty good about planning those. But I feel like the fighting in this particular match hasn't been like super fierce and non-stop. Yeah, it has been a bit of time for these players to plant mines, plant their tripwires. Whereas when I play, generally I find if I'm in like a really hectic match, that's the first thing that I forget to do.
Ready for action.
Okay, here comes T-34. Do have a Raketin nearby. Like half track might be in a bit of trouble. Can he spot that? Oh. Oh, he can't quite see the flak half track from over there. Okay. Oh boy, we got a Howie going down for scoped. Okay.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
This is a reasonable map for the howitzer. Like you can plant it close to your base, and the map is like reasonably wide and short, which is quite good for the howitzer coverage. Make sure the scatter isn't like super ridiculous.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
And wild. And you actually have a chance of hitting something.
Our territory is
By the same
hands.
logic, it also does make it a little bit more vulnerable. There's no particularly like super safe position to plant it. So now Scope's going to have to, get a whole bunch of mines down to help defend it. Wuff does have the option of going for the Panzer Commander. He doesn't know about the howitzer yet, but Panzer Commander artillery can be pretty good at countering the howitzer. But does sacrifice a bit of anti-infantry firepower on the Panzer IV. Will make it a little bit tougher to fend off the guards, for instance. Oh, this gets a shot on the P4. Wants to get in for the snare. So a tough start for the Panzer IV here. Straight away requiring repairs. Looks like the T-34 considering coming in. The Raketen right there camouflaged. Flamer coming in. Wuff's Fusiliers in some trouble. Oh boy. Okay, gets out in the nick of time. And howitzer fire coming in. Looks like it's targeting the infantry support gun and... Oh. Fusiliers throwing a grenade. Retreating. Didn't take down almost anything with that grenade. Grenade did get buffed this patch. Ooh, howitzer connecting with the flak half track. P4 coming back in now as this didn't get pushed up during this. It was a little bit too far back, but now bringing it forwards. Really needs his machine gun over here, but that is on BP guarding duty.
Protect the flanks! Protect the flanks! Taking effective fire!
But yeah, needs the suppression to help counter the guards. Obviously the flak half track is in jeopardy of going down. So there's this also, so can't really safely use that. Ooh, oh boy, a bit of collateral damage. The kitten takes a lot of damage from that shot and doesn't quite get it hidden. But T-34 doesn't go for the flak half track, instead goes for these two squads. So suddenly popped on recon mode. P4 heading out to the far side to counter it. Let's go reacts. Oh, and he does have a conscript nearby for the snare, so Wuff cannot chase in after it. The risk of getting snared. And killed, but probably unlikely to get killed. T-34 is on the other side of the map. Howitzer ready to go again. Looks like he's doing a reasonably close range barrage into the center, but doesn't connect with anything here. And this is maybe a scenario where cancelling the barrage when it's clearly not going to hit, or unlikely to hit anything, can be an option to try and speed up the cooldown. Because the barrage doesn't go on cooldown until the barrage is finished, so if you finish the barrage early, or go on cooldown earlier, can be an option if you whiff really badly with your howitzer. Like Scoped did here. Just back on the battlefield now.
Forces capturing supply sector.
Coming across, gets a nice hit in there, the P4. Mine going down for scope just in case the for Wuff, just in case the T-70 arrives again, which is a nice idea. And that infantry support gun actually stacking up a pretty nice kill count already. 6 kills, Vet 2. And it is a pretty decent option against guards because they generally do stay stationary to fire, so they are vulnerable to infantry support gun during that. Just in general can be good to also fend off things like Maxims and there's this. Which can sometimes be quite hard otherwise. 6-man weapon crews can be tricky to deal with. So this time he's going for a base barrage. But yeah, so far the Howie not working out too well for scoped. And you can see why I lose so many games going for them. If he, you know, maybe went for the SU-85 first, could have tamed Panzer IV and flak half-track a lot more effectively, maybe even killed them, secured the game. We took a gamble on the howitzer and so far it has not paid off. Scope managing to squeeze in SU-85 now after dropping a model or two. And that is the impact of the population change. The howitzers now cost 2 popcat less. Well, these howitzers, LFH and the ML20, so you can squeeze just a tiny bit extra into your army. Now the G43s, you know, on the Fusiliers, they're starting to vet up, getting to those high levels of vet. And performing pretty well against scoped. Looks like, yeah, Wuff forgot that he left his Raketen on camo. Looks like he's given it a movement order rather than like an attack move order. Will the T-70 go down? Oh, we got it! Max range sniper. And T-70 goes down. That's big. You know, the T-70 was causing Wuff a few headaches, especially operating on the flank. And to shut down those harass opportunities for scoped is really good. And you know, the recon mode can also be strong spotting. There's this in the SU-85 in the late game. Wuff investing into a Panther, also got his next truck out. Looks like he's going to go for the mechanized HQ next. But yeah, all of a sudden, Scope's position doesn't look quite so strong. Outs is still with 0 kills to its name. So it really hasn't paid off. And once again, because this is a reasonably wide map, you know, it can be decent for flanking plays. Looks like the Panther can be quite effective. Getting flanks on the SU-85, you don't have to just constantly ram straight down the middle. Panther getting aggressive here, but there is all of the anti-tank here. Fusiliers coming in behind this. Whoa, he's going for Panzer Commander on the Panther as well, okay. Does mean that he's going to be relying very heavily on his infantry to deal with Scope's infantry. Because yeah, the Panther without the machine gun upgrade can barely scratch infantry. Waiting around the corner for the snare. It's going to come good. No, it cancelled it. Maybe he wants to save the munitions. He is quite low on munitions. Has been lobbing out a lot of grenades so far this game. does want to save up for a Panzer Commando artillery barrage on that howitzer. Going to need to get another 40 or so munitions in the bank. Probably want a bit of a buffer as well in case you need to pop the blitz to escape after that. But yeah, now Wuff reversing the position, getting the triple cap going. And it looks like he's just going for another base barrage. If possible, it's generally best if you try and start the barrage like right as your opponent has retreated some squads. In this case, Wuff, these squads have been retreated for quite some time. They are in jeopardy of dying here.
200 points remaining.
But yeah, Wuff doesn't have that many team weapons, so the on-map barrage is not super effective for Scope so far. So switching to the base howitzer attack, but also that is just getting his first kill now has not been terribly effective for him. It's like T-70 coming out doing some secure mode action, leaving a bit of the VP pressure. And Scope has been bleeding quite a lot, losing a lot of conscript models.
T-34 ready for combat.
Now going for another T-34. That with the reinforcements is pretty much going to be his army. Whereas Wuff still has a little bit more in the bank. Su-85 connecting long range. T-34 coming in from the angle. Looks like he's going after the flak half track. Nope, pulls back. Dropping the IL-2 bombing run. Wuff a little bit slow to react. But everything gets away alive. Minor damage to the Raketen. Before coming back in. Su-85 pulled all the way out. Panther looking to come around on the flank. Maybe get a nice position on the Su-85 here, but not yet. And the Panzer Commander upgrade, you know, it does make it more effective in his anti-tank tool, since it will be able to spot for itself, make use of its range. Turn to the base again. Ooh, there we go. That's the shot. Raketen decrewed, loses its variancy. Just 6 kills, now 7 kills. Oh! He finished off a Fusilier? No. But yeah, Scoped is relying on his T-34s to help him against the Fusiliers, especially now that he only has 1 squad of guards. Just a little bit tricky. Conscripts don't really have that many heavy cover positions at the moment. Has been spamming sandbags near the centre of the map, so Fusiliers are performing pretty well, just charging into the conscripts from range. But yeah, lull in the action here while everything gets repaired. Oh, conscripts coming out for the snare on the Panther, and now the Su-85 charging in. Wuff has not recrewed his Raketen, but he decides not to push in. The Su-85 maybe still worried about the Raketen, maybe doesn't know what got decrewed in the base. It's quite oftentimes, especially during that moment, he didn't really have time to look in the base to see what he killed. In fact, they actually got outright destroyed. Alright. Pretty conservative stuff there from Scoped. Now maybe he'll be a little bit more aggressive. Both his T-34s are repaired. Doesn't pull the trigger. I feel like this is a reasonable time to have focus sight mode on to try and blast away at this P4. Not quite yet. P4 looks like it's hiding just behind the building and out of sight range. Panther at the mechanized truck getting repaired. Another howitzer barrage into the base. Vet 2 now 10 kills. Ooh. And there has been a pretty steady... Oh, 19 kills now. Okay, the Howie. Looks like 3 of those were medics, but yes, stacking up the kills all of a sudden. He's timing it pretty well, you know. Wuff's been forced to retreat. The Howitzer's blasting away at the base during that timing, and he's getting a lot of kills for the trouble. At some stage would be ideal if Wuff could, you know, get a sweeper out here, maybe make a assault on the howitzer, but look, there are a lot of mines on that road on this side. Back on the other side though, no mines here or here, which are pretty common to try and defend a howitzer over here. So the path on this side seems to be a little bit more clear. T-34 on the far side, opening up the cap. During all this though, you know, Scoped has been draining a tremendous amount of VPs. His VP control has been quite poor. So even though he's started to stack up the kills on the howitzer, he has fallen very far behind in the VP game. And he does seem to be having a little bit of trouble getting the most value out of his T-34s, playing quite conservatively with them. There we go, fends off a push on the far side with that T-34. Just missing the shot on the Panther. Oh. Panther gets a shot on the T-34 long range there. P4 dropping some artillery in the center. What's it gonna hit? Nothing. Full retreat from Scoped. And wow. Okay. Conscripts already completed the cap, so they are happy to retreat. T-34 coming through the center. Not entirely sure what Wuff is saving for next. I feel like the Ricketten is probably like the safest option to help fight against the SU-85, but it seems like he might be saving for a Tiger here. It's just manpower attrition on both sides so high at the moment. Just so many corpses, especially through the center of the map. Heated fighting. A lot of losses. It's ready to fire again. Okay, double T-34s coming down the side, but a Panther is there to meet them. Looks like he killed a mine, maybe getting planted there. He backed his SU-85 all the way to base there. Looks like Wuff going for the center once more. Big push of infantry here from Scoped. And it looks like he is feeling the hurt, feeling the pressure. But that push of infantry unsuccessful, getting shut down by the Panzer IV and the Fusiliers. And Wuff capping in the center. T-34 is quite far back. So is the SU-85 very, very far back. I feel like he should be focus on that a little bit more. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, but the SU-85 facing the wrong direction. That might allow the Panther enough time to escape. T-34 chasing in the high health one. S-35 finally facing the correct direction. T-34, oh, that is some clumsy pathing, and now the Panther are going to escape. Scoped missing a golden opportunity to take down the Panther there. A little bit clumsy on the control. Oh, but Panther backing straight through the middle of the map, and now the S-85 finds it. Decides to disengage though. He hasn't seen any Raketans for a long time, but he's playing very conservatively with his S-85. Bombing run in, takes down the flak half track, which I think was just driving around. Collateral damage, he was aiming for the Panther. Catches the flak half track. Which maybe will help a little bit with the center control for Scoped. Infantry support gun, 10 kills now, nearly vet 5. It's been doing so much health damage to all of Scope's units. Oh, what's this? Okay, it looks like he's targeting the battle group this time. Hoping to kill that, and it's actually pretty low in health. 2 more shells, maybe one more directed, I think we'll just about kill it. Oh, there we go. Battle group down, that's going to make healing hard to come by for Wuff, and he is a little bit strapped for manpower. I think he is saving for the Tiger. But he's going to be bleeding quite hard thanks to that, and he is also low on munitions for med crates. I think the approach here from Scoped may be similar to what he has now. Have his Zis and his S-85 in slightly different positions to help deal with Wuff's armor threat. And then try and use his T-34s also split up. Put the train back on Scope, down to 55 VPs. Got to get something going here. Looks like he's going to go for a forward howitzer. Always good to try and target your howitzer before it's ready to fire. Maximize the firing time on it. Building very, very low in health. I'll be surprised if he gets back into that. Died to 1 tank shell. And in comes a King Tiger, in fact, from Wuff. And also going for the Panzer Commander upgrade on that one. And that is going to mean Scoped a little bit understaffed for anti-tank. SU-85, 2 T-34s and a Zis. That is a tough one to crack this much Axis armor. His best hope is really just to inflict a lot of damage and just cause all these guys a lot of repair time so they can't all harass him at once. But I feel like that's one big difference that Scoped hasn't been doing. He hasn't been like poking forwards with focus sight on his tank. Whoa, Fusilier goes down. Okay, that's big for Scoped. That's one less capping squad for Wuff. Lucky main gunshot on the T-34. SU-85 now poking forwards, fires the Panther, gets a good chunk of damage on it. It's got the sweepers forwards as well. T-34 may be thinking about going for the flank, but shuts down the Sternpires. Going for the Cat. Now King Tiger in the center. SU-85 coming across. Big shot from the KT. Guards popping the button, but oh boy, guards very, very low on health now. Have to retreat. P4 coming in from the side. Zis needs to reposition. Panther threatening to come forwards on the SU-85, but pulls back. Oh, it looks like he switched back to the howitzer on the base strategy. Oh boy, it looks like the P4 hit the mine that was up here for a very long time. Wuff trying to smoke to escape, but he's got a main gun crit. T-34 just needs to penetrate once. He's dropping the IL-2, bombing it into the smoke. But that might not actually hit with dodging out to the side, which is a good way to dodge. Now Panther coming in, chasing after the T-34. T-34 could potentially go for the ram with the Zis right there. Decides against it. Now everyone's tanks escape alive, but Wuff, now this is what I was talking about, he has a lot of repairs required on all of his tanks. So this should give Scoped a bit of room to get something done here. Getting in for some big damage. Bounce into the base again. And some mines going down for Scoped in a very aggressive position. Oof, maybe saw that. Cancels it. Let's take ground. P4 just about ready to go. T-34 coming around the corner. King Tiger misses the first shot, was on the move, but the Panther and the P4 are there. T-34 goes for the ram, but does not connect, dies before it can. S-285 pushing forwards though. King Tiger coming forwards to try and juke its gun. Main gun crit. Oh. Thanks to that AT grenade. S-285 chasing through the smoke here. Is this on the other side? Is this missing? S-285 finishes the job from inside the smoke. Double T-34s, they're both low. They're coming into the action. Fusiliers through the center, clear out the AT gun. P4 takes 2 penetrating hits though. Has to back out, and now the Fusiliers getting ripped into by the T-34s. Very low in health. T-34s coming forwards aggressively. And that was a good push from Scoped. T-34 maybe thrown away somewhat, but after seeing Wuff's weakened position, felt bold enough to come through the center with the S-285 and paid off, took down the King Tiger there. And yeah, the lack of healing for Wuff going to be catching up with him. All these squads coming back onto the battlefield on low health. There's an abandoned T-34 over here if he can eventually crew it. And goes for some ogres, which is unusual. We're very deep into the VP count. Doesn't have much time to vet them up. So it may not be that effective, and it looks like Scoped not really investing into more infantry, investing into more tanks. So another squad without a snare. I don't know how effective it's going to be. But maybe it's a sign that Wuff says, oh, I feel like I can't win this game sometime soon. So I'm settling in for the long haul to vet up these ogres. Oh boy, but these T-34s just ripping in. Panther threatening to come in from the side, connects long range. Needs one more shot on the T-34, but didn't chase. So T-34 will escape, and Wuff playing cautiously, not overextending here, maybe worried about some more mines. Pulling back. Empire is actually repairing the base structure here. Don't see that too often. Doesn't need to worry about this that much. He's still got some structures out on the map. Now it's getting Howie barraged. He should get away from there. Howie, 32 kills now. Wuff just never had the courage or the coordination. Just come forwards here and drop a Panzer Commander artillery barrage on this howitzer. Did he just lose another squad to it? A Fusilier maybe? Has whittled away at his units. And Scoped has been controlling his T-34s, just slowly accumulating a critical mass here. Now can kind of just pseudo use them as infantry. The secure mode, thanks to them being vetted up, can cap on the far flanks. Oh man, Wuff's getting really unlucky. These T-34s have been getting some really lucky hits with their main gun. Before trying to hide behind the building here. But Wuff just does not have enough anti-tank to deal with what he's up against here. And there we go, hits a mine. He's ready 5 Vet 3 nearby. Backing his way into battle though. I think the Panther should be able to get away. Like Scope is not going to push in too aggressively after it, and Wuff is ticking on the VPs, now ticking under 100 himself, so feeling the pressure. Stoneboy's coming up for the repair. 35 coming forwards. It is on focus sight mode at the moment, so moving around very slowly. Smoke into the center for Wuff. And P4 going to come behind this to do some attack ground hits into the smoke. So is the T-34 though. P4 coming out better off so far. But you know, Over's a lot more expensive to reinforce than conscripts with the 7-man upgrade. Oh, here we go. Wuff coming around, but hits another mine. So that flank does not really work out for him. P4 mobilizing though, finds the AT gun out of position. Blitzing forwards, looks like he's going for the conscript kill maybe, decides against it, turns around and now exposing the rear to these T-34s. They're coming in fast with the mobility bonus from their variancy. P4 escapes. Not paying attention here, backing away with the Panther now. Also has a lot of low health armor here, but it's just got so much of it. Oh, B-35 coming hunting for the Panzer IV. Did receive a tiny bit of repairs, so I think it will need one more shot to go down. Trying to juke the arc. It doesn't quite have blitz ready on the P4. It gets a brief moment of speed on that road, helping him to continue to juke the Su-85. The T-34 is not coming across in support. The Zis does, but as I said, that tiny bit of repairs allows the Panzer IV to survive. In comes a bombing run. Panther might get hit by this. No, not quite. So Zis pushing forwards aggressively here. Gonna spot the Panther, maybe get 1 or 2 shots in. Stonepile's not really in condition to repair at the moment. One model. That's up to 36 kills now. But yeah, repairs for this going to be very, very slow for Wuff, not fully reinforcing his Stonepiles. That was a pretty good assault. Looks like he also maybe took down a T-34 in the center with the Panther. But now the repairs, can he hang on? Infantry support gun has been parked here. Basically the whole game finally getting forced to reposition. 20 kills though, Vet 5, it did well. AP4, not full strength, but coming in to do some combat duties. Let the Panther get some repairs. Zis very aggressively positioned here. Could maybe consider going for the kill on this mechanized truck even. And Wuff going for another squad of Obers this late in the game. He's got no squads for snares. I don't agree with that could maybe see the other one, the other Ober, you know, a bit of time to vet it up. But if this game state doesn't have munitions to upgrade the LMG either, can't agree with that. I think Fox Grenadiers would have been the go. Snare. Decent combat without the weapon upgrade, and sandbags, which could maybe help in the VP capture game. Couple T-34s coming out. Obers on the far flank. Already low on health. This could be a wipe. Make sure those hull guns are facing the right way for these T-34s. And he does. Okay, there we go. This time Wuff gets lucky. Doesn't take any model losses at all. Oh, and he's going in for a dive with the Panther P4 combo. Already P4 so low in health though, it has to pull back. Quite a lot of damage from the Zis on the way in. Panther getting some nice shots in here. This is that shot trying to smoke now on the AT gun. It's pretty close to Vet 4 now. What does it get a Vet 4? Advanced sighting and targeting.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Oh, Conscript's finally branching out to this far VP. Hasn't seen much action for a very long time, but Scott finally getting over there now. Ober's desperate to cap in the center, but unable to. Panther maybe gone for some crush action here, I'm not sure. Exposing its rear, taking a bucket load of damage.
The enemy is down to 25 points. Victory is in our grasp.
People on the far flank trying to open up capture over there. Oh, S-35 coming in from the side. One more shot. I think that's going to go down. S-35 not quite in range. IL-2 bombing run in. Empires go down to it. And that will be it. Wuff doesn't have the manpower left to cap. There you go. Game over. I think the issue here was Wuff. At some stage, instead of just continually charging down the center with all his fusiliers, should have come on like a more lateral angle with the sweepers, with his 2 tanks, maybe with like 1 squad through the center trying to distract. Found a moment to come over here and kill the howitzer with this Panzer Commander artillery. I think that was definitely within his power to do. Also, I think he needed a Raketen at some stage just to help tame the Su-85. He needed to rebuild that. And yeah, late game, I'm not sure about the Obers. You know, if you've got time to vet them up, got munitions for the weapon upgrades, they do make sense. But in this particular game state, I think he just needed some cannon fodder to chuck into the VP circles. Also, access to the snares would have been really helpful. So I think Fox would have been the better choice. But overall, GG, well played from Scoped. It took a while, and it almost lost in the game. But the howitzer finally started paying off, got a few wipes, and that really put him ahead after that. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye, and good luck.